everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna just do like a couple of new products. I don't have a full face of new stuff, but I have kind of a, I have a little bit of new stuff that I wanted to test here on camera, and it's just easier to do it all in one video. I have a few products from Sydney Grace. I have some products from Glossier. I have some new products from Fenty that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Also, I am filming using my new camera, and I need your guys' feedback. Is the quality bad? Is the sound bad? Is the color off? Is the lighting weird? Like, I need your guys' feedback. Do not worry about hurting my feelings, because constructive criticism is what I live by. As long as it comes from a good place, it helps me. So if you guys have any type of criticism, that if there was anything that you didn't like, as far as the camera goes, this is the first full video that I've done filming with this camera. So I want to kind of continue to play around with it and do adjustings as I need to, because I have no camera background. I have no experience of any of this stuff. So if you guys would not mind letting me know how you feel about the sound, the lighting, the camera quality, and everything like that, I would appreciate it so much, you guys. It helps me more than you know. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. Okay, so I don't really have a new foundation. Okay, let me rephrase that. I have new foundations, but the foundations that I have, I want to save for a review. So today I'm just going to go in with a foundation that I have been using. Now I'm going to apply the Pat McGrath foundation, and the reason why, okay, so you guys know that this was not my foundation, my favorite foundation for a while. I finally found a way to make this foundation work for me, and I feel it does look really good on camera. The only thing that I don't get a long wear out of this, so this is not one that I reach for when I need my foundation to look really good for several hours. But I did find this Dior Backstage primer, like these two work really well for me together. So I just applied this primer, and now I'm going to go in with the foundation. But before I do that, I am going to apply my Cover FX blurring primer. I've actually been really enjoying this. So I just kind of press it right over my pores right here, and that Bite Beauty broke me out so bad. Look at all of this. Like, I am so broke out because of that foundation. It wreaked havoc on my skin. So I'm still trying to recover from that, and my skin is a mess right now. Plus this camera, so this is my new camera. I just switched over, and it picks up every little detail on my skin. So now you guys are really seeing my skin for the madness that it is. So I'm gonna put 2 pumps here on the back of my hand. With this foundation, I have to have 2 pumps. There's other foundations that I prefer using only 1 pump. This particular foundation, I need 2 pumps. It just is what it is. I spent a fortune on that foundation, and I didn't love it. And I wanted to find a way to make it work, because I just didn't want to waste my money, So if you're like me and you have a foundation that you've tried and you just hate it, and it just did not work for you, you can find a way to make it work, then you don't waste your money, I hate wasting my money. I hate it. It drives me crazy. It's like we work so hard for our money, and nothing is worse than wasting your money on something and then it just sits there and collects dust. So I'm gonna take a half of a pump and just build up a little teeny bit in the areas that I need a little bit more coverage. When I'm covering up my acne or my pimples or whatever, I like to do it after I put on my foundation. Some people go in before with concealer and then go over top of it with foundation. I wanna see what the foundation will do first. And because there's some pimples that the foundation will completely cover it up, and you don't need that extra coverage and that extra layer of product. But there's some pimples that the foundation is not going to cover it, and you need that extra layer of protection. I'm going to grab a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of the Dior. I've been really loving this concealer for spot concealing, you guys. You can see I've been using it a lot. I like to go in with a brush like this. Just go over the spot. And I like to let it sit there for a minute and just kind of set up, and then go in and blend it out. Sometimes going over it with your finger and kind of melting it, like the warmth of your hand will kind of melt it into the foundation. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you will know that I picked up this and the liquid paint, or what are these called? Cloud paints. So I picked up both of these and I'm super duper excited to try it. I have heard absolutely nothing but amazing things about this stretched concealer. I got this in the shade G9. So it feels really emollient based. I don't know how much coverage I'm gonna get out of it. So I figured what I would do is on one side of the eye, I would like just use this concealer only. If I feel like I need a little bit more coverage, on the other eye, I will go in with my favorite, absolute favorite, Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away. It's like a color corrector, and it's kind of the perfect shade of peach. I have it in the shade number medium 2. So I've got some here on my finger, and I'm just gonna kind of start dotting it and like putting it on. I do feel like this concealer is probably best applied with a finger because it does kind of have that emollient base to it. But for me, I do not like to see any of that blueness coming through. I kind of like that full coverage. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like a medium coverage foundation, but I like a full coverage concealer. I just do. That's just my preference. So that looks really pretty though. Like, it is really natural. I'm gonna bring it down just a tiny bit. You guys know how I like to have concealer right here in this area. I don't know why. It's just me. But a little bit of this does go a really long way, and I do like the texture of it. I like the feeling of it. Very natural concealer. I'm gonna go in with a little teeny bit of my Charlotte Tilbury, and when I say a little bit, I like to do it like this and rub it on my finger and then go in, because you seriously do not need a lot of this. If you put too much on, it's just gonna be too much in that delicate area, and that's when it starts to build up and look kind of gross. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the concealer and kind of start tapping it. I don't know, maybe I should use a brush with this. I don't know. I just felt like maybe the concealer, because it was so emollient based, that a finger would look better. This does feel so good though. Like, for those of you out there that like a nice hydrated under eye, oh, feels so good. I like that concealer so far. We'll see how long it lasts. By the time I edit this video, I will definitely know how long it lasts, but I like this. So far, so good. Okay, we got the brows done, and it's been a minute since you guys saw me because I had to make a few phone calls. My brows took me longer than I wanted them to because they're just in that mode. My brows are in a bad mood. They just did not want to cooperate, so I was like, whatever, I'm over it. They are gonna be what they are, and if they're uneven, I don't care. I'm at the point where I just don't care, you know? Let's move on to like a cream contour situation. I don't even know why I just called it a cream contour situation. I'm so dumb. Let's move on to cream contour, shall we? Oh my gosh, Terry, you're a moron. All right, so I'm gonna put some here on my head. Surprised how long that Charlotte Tilbury contour stuff lasts. Like, it lasts a long time. So I like to use this Rephr number 17 brush. Just kind of like pounce it into the skin. Also, I've had several of you guys reach out to me wanting me to do like a full video on like what brushes I use for what, and like different ones, whether it's the Rephr brushes, Sonia G. I have several Sigmas and Luxie brushes. So I think I might do a video of like all things brushes and just kind of go through everything that I like. I could put something white up against my screen and it doesn't go dark like my old camera did. It's amazing. I get to use my big one. I love it. Right, okay, let's move on to the cloud paint. I am so excited to try this. Every single time I see somebody like put this on the back of their hand, go in with a sponge and gently press it into the skin, I get jealous. I got this in the shade Beam. So I'm gonna pick a little bit up with my sponge here. Oh, that's super pretty. Is that pretty or what? like that. It's like going with powder and stuff, I'll kind of buff it in. I'll be honest with you, I think I like this formula right away more so than the M Cosmetics ones. Don't get me wrong, I think those liquid blushes from M Cosmetics is really pretty. But I think I like this formula a little bit more, but it is very strong pigment. So just keep that in mind. If you don't wear powder, I recommend going in with a tiny bit of this. Maybe swirl your brush around in it and then go in, because I was able to apply a little bit more because I know I'm gonna go in with powder over top of this and it'll kind of make it fade a little bit. But I'm gonna use my Hourglass powder, which I still have just I've never found a powder that works like the Hourglass. See how much powder makes a difference? This is a little bit of powder kind of buffed into the skin. Before powder, after powder. It's pretty. And if you're dry skinned like I am, the Hourglass powder works like a charm. Like, it just doesn't make me feel dry and gross, but it smooths everything out. I cannot recommend the Hourglass powder more for dry skin. It is just the best. I'm gonna use this Blendiful right here, just like right here, and kind of pat this in right here. I only use a little bit, but it helps so much to like really press over top of those pores. But this is probably one of the softest concealers I've ever used. It's really natural and really skin-like. It just feels really, really good. I'm gonna grab a little bit of my Charlotte powder and go right over top of this area. Boom, 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 boom. A little bit dramatic, Tara. Okay, now I'm gonna spray. And fan. Dramatic, yes. Necessary, yes. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that Sydney Grace was kind enough to send me some of their single shadows. So these are the single shadows that I have. This is the only magnet palette that I have where you can put the single shadows over top of it. So I gotta get me another one, but I wanted to lay them all out. These are all the shades, and I will have swatches later on in the video so you guys can see what these actually look like swatched. I had missed out on the bigger palettes. I meant to buy them, and by the time I realized that they were on sale, they were completely gone, and I was like, no! So they reached out and said, hey, we wanna send you some, you know, single shadows and stuff. So I am so grateful, and I forgot highlighter. Goody goody gumdrop. I'm gonna grab this. Sonia G sent this to me and I am obsessed with this shape. She's so sweet. She sent me the sweetest package from Switzerland with all of these beautiful, like Japanese, I was so grateful to her. She is seriously the nicest person ever. So this is called the Sculpt 4. And how perfect is that for highlighter? Like, seriously. Look at that. Boom. I'm putting it exactly where I want it. Oh, so pretty. This is a great brush. By the way, I'm putting on the Magic Star or whatever it's called. This one from Charlotte Tilbury. What I like about this is that once you put it on, it's soft enough to give you a really nice application, but it's stiff enough to go in and really kind of blend it out. Oh, so pretty. I really like this brush. Yeah, she was nice enough to send it to me, and I put way too much highlight on my brow bone, or my brow bone. Just ignore me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's not my brow bone. It's my Cupid's bow. Shit. So I got some clean brushes here. Hella freaking Luya. You guys, this never happens, ever. I'm gonna first start with an eyeliner. I don't really know what look I'm gonna go with, but I have been using these new eyeliners from Fenty. They kind of remind me of the Marc Jacobs formula, just to be honest with you. I love this. This is the Fly Liner. So this is like a liquid eyeliner, but I have been using, I have the black and the brown. Bomb. So freaking good. I'm gonna start with the brown eyeliner. Go ahead and put some of the brown up on the waterline, on the upper waterline. I want this to be kind of smoky at the base of my lashes. So I'm gonna grab a tiny little brush. So Sonia was kind enough to also send me this brush, This is called the Pencil 1, and this is what it looks like next to the pencil brush in the Sky set. So it's much smaller and much pointier, which I have really needed this brush. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this. I'm not bringing it all the way in. As you notice, I stopped about right here, and then kind of bringing it like out into the eyelid. That's what I love about this formula, is that I'm able to do that. Like, it blends so easily, but it also is really nice and long lasting. So I think I'm gonna first start with the shade Laughter, which is this one right here. It's kind of a really pretty like mauve-y lavender shade. And I'm gonna go in and just start applying this here on the crease. Oh, that is beautiful shade. These are a very soft texture, like really soft. This kind of reminds me of the Scott Barnes. Like, so far, that's the vibes of the formula it's giving me. It's super pretty, you guys. I'm gonna put a little bit of that out here on this outer corner. Next shade I wanna grab is Puppy. So it looks like this. It's a kind of a cool toned brown shade. Okay, that formula reminds me of Scott Barnes. They just kind of blend themselves, and they're very, very, very beautiful. Very nicely pigmented. Wow, I really like the formula of these. They're my favorite kind of mattes. You know when you have a matte and it has a shine to it, where it's not really dusty? That's what I love. And these have a shine to them, and I love it. Like, so far, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Now I'm gonna move on to the shade Keep Smiling. Right on that brow bone, like right just at the base. I don't wanna go too hard with this. These are pigmented shadows, my friends. I totally understand the hype behind these. Wow. I still have this little spot right here, and that was like a little spot from the Bite Beauty Breakout. That's what I'm calling it, the Bite Beauty Breakout. So shadows are looking kind of funky on that spot, but that's not the shadow's fault. That is a little bump right there on my skin, and the shadows are kind of sticking to it. But look at the shine that these shadows have. Like, they just have such a beautiful shine to them. I'm gonna take this brush from Rephr. This is the number 2 brush. I'm gonna go in with that first shade that we used, which is called Laughter. And I'm bringing that on the lower lash line, kind of smoking it out a little bit. Then I'm gonna go in with Puppy. Then I'm gonna go into that dark shade, which is Keep Smiling. And I'm gonna kind of smoke that into the lower lash line. All right, now for the lid. Oh my God. Just when I think this cannot get any freaking better. Look at those shimmer shades. You're blinded, right? I know. Look at those shimmer shades. Holy smokies, those are pretty. This one is Shine Bright. Look at that. And then this one is called Aim High. I'm gonna grab Shine Bright, this shade right here. I'm gonna go in with it dry, just so we can see what it does. Okay, editing Tara here. I just wanted to jump on here and apologize for using these discontinued single shadows on camera. Had I known that they were not in stock, I never would have used them. When the brand sent them to me, I automatically assumed that they were available to purchase. and it's my fault. I should have double checked to make sure before ever using them on camera. So I just wanted to apologize. I am very, very sorry for this, and I promise you that will never happen again, because there's nothing more frustrating than to see a beautiful eyeshadow look and not be able to recreate it if you want to. So I just wanted to jump on here, tell you guys how sorry I am, and I promise that will never happen again. Okay, back to the video. Aim high, grab a tiny bit because this stuff is pigmented, and I'm gonna go right over top, keeping it right there in the middle, or in the inner corner. Stop it. Stop it right now. Do you see how beautiful that is? The height behind these shadows is legit. Okay, I forgot to tell you that I've been testing out this new Fenty Beauty mascara. I only have it in the sample form. I actually quite like this mascara. I didn't think I was gonna like the wand because it is, like, it's skinny from the side, but when you turn it, it kind of flares. But I kind of like it. I mean, as you can see, it's like flat here and then it flares. So it does have a nice wand on it. It really does. But I wanted to go ahead and, oh, I love that autofocus on my camera. Anyway, I'm geeking out over here. So I wanted to kind of apply it on camera because I have been really liking it. It seems like the third layer is kind of the sweet spot for me when applying this, but my lashes are still in that growing out stage. They're getting so much better. They're getting longer, but I'm still working on getting them thicker. So what I've been doing is just putting on one coat, letting it dry, move on to the other side, put on a coat there, and then I'm just kind of swapping back and forth. But I've actually really enjoyed this mascara, more so than I thought I would. It's really a good mascara. Okay, so this is the final look without a new lippy. However, I did get the new Natasha Denona lippy, and it's so pretty. It would not go with this look, so I'm not even gonna bother putting it on, but this one is the coral one. Oh, you guys, it is gorgeous. Oh, look how pretty that shade is. It's so pretty. I don't think it's gonna go with this because it's got too much of a peach, but why not? This is really pretty on its own. This is the new one that she launched with the Valentine's collection. Such a pretty shade. I've heard some people say they don't love the nude color, but this coral color is like right up my alley. It's so pretty. So this is the final look, and let me say this about the concealer so far. I really like this. This is for somebody that loves just a very natural looking concealer. Even though I didn't feel like it was gonna give me a lot of coverage, it actually gave me more coverage than I thought it was going to. So I love this, like, so good. I'm gonna continue to wear it, but so far, based on first impressions, I love this. This is probably one of the most natural concealers that I've enjoyed. There's a lot of natural concealers out there that I don't really like, only because maybe they're too natural and they don't have any coverage. This one gives you enough coverage, but still maintains that natural look underneath the eye. Very beautiful concealer, like so good. So if you're somebody that does not or cannot wear like heavier concealers under the eye, this one's really pretty. The other thing that I also like about this is if you're older and you have a hard time with all of these other concealers, they're just too thick, too much pigment, and you want something to kind of tone down but not emphasize, I think this is a great option. Such a beautiful formula, and I actually like this one way more than the IT Cosmetics, because the reason why I don't like the IT Cosmetics Full Coverage by Under Eye is because it's a very thick formula. And I even like the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. You guys know that's my favorite concealer. The IT Cosmetics is even more thick than the concealer from Tarte. This one is the least out of them three, but it's very natural. I would say this is a good medium coverage, and this is a nice concealer, you guys. I am really impressed with the formula. The blush, I like the blush. I feel like the color might be a little bit too bright for me right now. So I'm definitely going to order that dusk shade because I feel like the dusk shade would be best for me. However, the formula itself is perfection. The way that it melts and blends over the skin is just really beautiful. This is a really, really nice formula. I can see why people love these. So you guys know that I have been madly in love with my Scott Barnes palette. This was my favorite of 2019. Even though I discovered at the end of 2019, it is my favorite of 2019 for several reasons. I love the way the shadows blend. I like this palette more than Natasha Denona, more than Pat McGrath. For me, this is a perfect palette. So with all of that said, these are incredible. These are very similar to the Scott Barnes. The thing that I love about these is I love the shine that the matte shadows have. The way that they blend and melt, you guys, Sydney Grace is where it's at. If you've been wanting to buy the Scott Barnes palette, but it's been very kind of out of your price range, look no further because these are incredible. Some of the best matte shadows I've ever used. You guys saw how easy it was for them to blend. You saw the shimmers explode on my eye. I mean, this shade right here is unbelievably beautiful. Incredible pigment, incredible blend. The way that they pack on the eye, amazing. Even if they didn't send these over, I would be telling you these are amazing. These are fantastic. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you all for all the love that you show me. It means so much to me. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.